Hey travelers, Mag, I, and Skip here, coming at you from deep within the mountains of Tokushima Prefecture on Shikoku Island. This morning, we're going to be exploring Naka Town. Naka Town is very far into the country of Tokushima and used to be 5 separate districts that have all been combined into one area. Now Naka Town has this exploration pass, which includes 28 locations to go explore across the area and get stamps to be able to do kind of a scavenger hunt. Right in the realm of geocaching and right in the realm of what we love. The thing is, these 28 locations cover the entire district of Naka Town, so it's probably going to take us more than we have time to do in a day. We're going to get to as many of these locations as we can throughout the day, but most likely this is going to be 2 different trips to be able to complete this card. We're starting from here at the very western edge of Naka Town, at the very furthest target on the west edge of the card. From here, we're going to be able to work our way east, and we're going to be moving from one spot to the next throughout the day until we run out of time. There's a lot of dams, there's a lot of museums, cafes, and other interesting spots to see along the way. So join Ai-chan, Skip, and I as we take you on a tour of Naka Town. Come on, let's go. It may have been a long drive to get out to our starting place this morning, but it was a drive worth taking. Highway 195 winds along next to the Naka River for the entire route, offering many scenic views as you cross over the bridges. Okay, let's go ahead and break down the passport card that we're going to be working with today. The first thing that you're going to notice here is in the top corner of the card we have the map. This map puts us through all of Naka Town. Now we're starting at the far western edge of this map at Ko, which is the green double line symbol at the far bottom left corner of the map. Now you may notice right next to I, there's a squiggly line on the map in the middle of the road. That indicates a significant gap in the distance. So this map is actually not to scale. If you look at anywhere those squiggly lines are moving, that means you're going quite a ways. We are about an hour out from the furthest east point on the map, which means we've got a long way back to go, but that's a lot of cool bridges and other sights to see along the way. This map is broken into 3 different sections. The blue section with 10 different spots to go, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Then you've got the orange section with 8 different spots to go, 1 through 8. And finally, you've got the green section with 10 spots to explore. That's A, I, U, E, O, Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko. Now to complete the card, you actually only need to visit 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 orange out of the card, which you could do this thing with 3 locations. But we're aiming for all 28 of these, whether it takes today, tomorrow, or beyond that as well. We're going to start in the logical order of moving our way across the map from west to east, right here with Ko. We're also going to be doing Ku, Ki, and K while we're here on this portion of the map. I reach my first destination and read the sign, Kuruku, knowing we have arrived. First stop on our tour, Cafe Kuruku, which is only open 11:30 to 1:30 some days of the week. I knew it wasn't going to be open when I got here. And a lot of the places we're going to be exploring today probably aren't going to be open. In all honesty, to be able to do this card and see the inside of a lot of these places, it would probably take the better part of a week, because some of them are only open 2-3 days a week. Some of them are only open once a month on Fridays. So to be able to plan it and get to each location at the times they're open, I don't have the time for that. Instead, we're going to come see what we can, put a little check in the box on our card. First location down, Cafe Kuruku. And who knows, maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to come down and enjoy a nice little lunch in the cafe here. But not today. Let's keep moving. The next location proves to be quite the challenge to access. From Cafe Kuruku, we head toward Guest House Hanade. While it is also located on the southern bank of the Naka River, it requires us to cross north, back south again, and then bring our way up into the mountains. It is the kind of place you're not going to stumble across unless you're specifically looking for it, and even then, you should keep your eyes open. This is why a very basic understanding of Japanese is important, because there's nothing really else indicating that this is the place I'm looking for except for this one sign with the metal cutout that reads Hanade. Alright, I saw what I wanted to see. Let's check it out. Travelers have been known to come to the village from a pretty long ways off to enjoy a local specialty known as Kito yuzu. However, after a long journey here into the countryside, there was nowhere for them to stay. For this reason, the owners opened Guest House Hanade, providing a refuge in the mountains for those willing to make the long journey out here.
Stop number 2 on this morning's tour is the Guest House Hanade, and this is the kind of spot that you will not find unless you are looking for it, because you have to drive a windy mountain road to get up here. It's a pretty nice spot though. It's a cozy little 1-bedroom, big enough for your whole family to fit in, good sized kitchen, bathroom, all glass walls on one side as you can see right there, so you got the beautiful view out into the woods, and it's a nice relaxing spot to come stay in the countryside. Fortunately for me, I already have a house here in Naka Town, so I don't need to be staying at the Guest House Hanade. But if you ever happen to grace the area, this may be a place to look out if you want a cozy mountain retreat to get away to.
This also seemed to be an ideal time to set out on a morning walk with Ai-chan and Skip. We came across several people as we strolled through the village of Kito, and they were all very nice to both me and the dogs. It didn't seem like very long at all until we made it to the next spot on our map, location key, Ken's Gallery.
Something to always pay attention to here in Japan. If you see folks leaving their shoes at the door, be very cognizant of that. At places like this, they have slippers provided for you so that you don't tear up the floor. So the trick is to take off your shoes, put on the nice slippers, and be a welcome house guest.
When I arrived, the folks downstairs were hard at work preparing dozens of lunches, something it appears they do every day. They showed me through on my way upstairs so I could view Ken's gallery for myself. The black and white photos on presentation in the gallery were taken by local resident Mr. Kenkichi Nakano. After his passing, his wife Mineko set up the gallery so visitors could see Kito through his eyes. The last location I would be visiting here in the village of Kito proved to be the easiest to find, as I had already passed it a few times on my way back and forth to the other locations. Yoisho Kitomura, located directly along Route 195, is hard to miss, but it didn't open until 9, so that's all I'd been waiting for. There is quite the selection of snacks to be had here, but their specialty is definitely yuzu. Yuzu is a citrus fruit with a taste somewhere between that of a lemon and a mandarin orange. This area is well known for its yuzu production, which is one of the reasons why many travelers come out here.
Yoisho Kitomura specializes in omiyagi and local snacks. So when you travel around Japan, you're supposed to bring back omiyagi for friends and family. Since I haven't left the prefecture, I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but just to be on the safe side, we're gonna walk out of here with some omiyagi. Better safe than sorry, right?
The village of Kito, with stops Ko, Ki, Ku, and Kei, is located pretty far west of everything else on the Naka Town Exploration Pass. While this distance may deter some other travelers from visiting, for me it was a welcome opportunity. Unbelievably, the river seems to have turned an even deeper shade of blue this far out.
The mountains of Japan, really, it speaks for itself. Look at that view with the mountains and the river. Need I say more about reasons why people should come explore Naka Town?
Following a very scenic drive, we reached location I, Kominono Dam. This is just one of many dams along Highway 195 controlling the flow of the Naka River here in Naka Town. Completed in 1968, this arched dam spans 152 meters.
Okay, so I'm technically not geocaching today because there are no geocaches out here for me to find. But doing this scavenger hunt has all of the feel of geocaching, including the classic letterbox, fully equipped with a stamp. I'm gonna go ahead, ink this bad boy up, and use it to stamp my card that I've been here at Kominono Dam.
For me, crossing the many bridges over the Naka River is only half the fun of traveling through Naka Town. Equally as entertaining is the journey through the many tunnels that cut straight through the mountains. Perhaps I was enjoying the drive too much because I shot right past this sign.
Yep. Finding these kind of places is every bit the adventure that I'm in for when I go geocaching, because I passed right by this the first time and had to come back around for the second look because I almost didn't want to believe my eyes when that narrow little road was my destination. But where the road goes, I shall follow.
This little road leads to one of the places on our map that is only accessible at very rare times. Tours are only available by appointment and only on the 4th Sunday of each month.
And here we have the Kagehiro Hatsudensho. This is one of the many dams along this stretch of road. Unfortunately, this is really about as close as we're gonna get. We can get up to the front door and get a quick shot of it, but it's very busy here today and they're definitely not doing any tours. But there's another check in the box. Let's keep moving down the road.
Crossing over the Naka River on the bridge that serves as the junction between Highway 193 and 195 is my indicator that I'm closing in on my next pair of targets, E and H on my map. which comprise both Nagayasu Dam and the adjacent museum, also known as BeaverCon. The dam, completed in 1955 and renovated in 1998, is only available by appointment and only on Sundays, but the museum is much more widely accessible. There are several exhibits inside that help to demonstrate how the intake of water eventually becomes electricity, as well as how much of that electricity is utilized in daily usage in the average home.
Nagayasu Dam and the adjacent museum make up stops 7 and 8 on our tour of Naka Town, heading from west to east today. Now it's closing in on lunchtime, and I'm hoping one of the next few stops ahead of us has somewhere to eat for both me and the dogs, because we're looking a little hungry. Let's see what it has in store for us down the road.
Across this suspension bridge to the southern bank of the Naka River, we follow a scattering of signs, bringing us ever closer to our next objective, Hanazayan. Run by Makoto Yoshioka, whose family has resided in the region since the 17th century, Hanazayan was born of a dream of showing people the old-style Japan. Here you can enjoy a bed and breakfast run in a very traditional manner.
Hanazayan, a beautiful place to get to in the mountains. You have to come across the other side of the Naka River and drive a little ways back. They have lots of signs pointing to get here, which is great because otherwise you would think that you're lost on the way here. But once you're here, you'll be treated to a nice little bar where you can sit down, enjoy some drinks, great conversation, and a meal. As is normally the case with me, I'm not here at the right time to do so, but the staff has been all around helpful in making sure that I knew just how great of a place Hanazayan is. Number 9 on the list, let's keep it moving.
And I'm not at all exaggerating when I tell you you will feel like you're lost on the road here if not for the signs pointing the way.
Just on the other side of the river, we have stop number 10 on our tour, the Hinotani Dam. Unfortunately, the construction has made it completely inaccessible to us, so this is as close as we're gonna get on this tour today.
As we pass through this tunnel, the dogs both look at me expectantly, letting me know that it's well past time for lunch. I was hoping Cafe Asunaro would provide the answer, but I find it's closed today.
We find ourselves back in the land of the familiar, finally. We've crossed over a few bridges, followed the river, and made it back to a place that I've been a ton of times. Just over on this side of me, we have the restaurant Ikoi, and across the street, Momijigawa Onsen, where my aunt and uncle stayed for my wedding, and they had a beautiful hot spring inside, not to mention a restaurant. Just across the bridge on the other side, we've also got the Aioi Shinrin Museum of Art, and the Wooden Toy Museum. So right here, we've got a lot of stops to work through all at once. But first order of business, lunch.
Cafe Ikoi has a pretty good looking menu, but no takeaway options for the dogs. So instead, I crossed the street to Momijigawa Onsen, hoping I might be able to get a little mochi kairi from the restaurant. This is one of the busiest places to be found in Naka Town, as they have a lot of omiyage available, the restaurant, a hot springs, and a bed and breakfast. But still no takeaway options for my furry companions, so I head a little further down the road to Minya Fuji Ramen with a new plan in mind.
Stop number 14 on the tour of Naka Town today is Minya Fuji, which is our first orange spot, which means we now have the 3 cards we need to complete this scavenger hunt. However, all the places I've stopped at today do not have the mochi kairi, which is takeout food, and I'm not gonna leave the dogs sitting in the car as long as it's gonna take for me to sit down and eat a meal at one of these restaurants. So instead, right across the street from there is this nice little yakitori place I love going to. It's not always open, but if you're here at the right time on the right day it is, and as you can see, today it is, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and get one of everything. And she offers quite the selection of delicious yakitori here. I ordered 5 different pieces. We got this little one right here, 2, 3, 4, and 5, plus some of the karaage up top here. We are gonna have a good lunch and we can sit with the dogs and enjoy this. Yes.
They both leave a trail of saliva along the road, smelling the yakitori in my hand.
All right, so most of the places around here don't really have outdoor seating. I'm not exactly gonna let the dogs come hang out in the restaurant with me. They've been chilling with me all day long, and they were the only ones willing to come do this adventure today. So I definitely didn't want to leave them behind while I enjoyed lunch. So I intentionally got a bunch of yakitori so that we could all enjoy this together. So a little bit for me. This one's chicken skin, by the way. A little bit for Skippy there. What Franklin? Huh. That's pretty good. Couldn't tell you what this one is, but we're about to find out. Maybe liver? Probably liver. Hard to say. I can tell you it's good though. I bet you the dogs want some of it. There you go, half for you. Half for you. Is that good? Half for you. Half for you, there you go. Yeah, there's 2 pieces down. You guys are getting quite the variety for lunch today, aren't you? Mm-hmm. A little bit for you. Trying to be fair about it. Not exact science, a little bit for you. I wasn't gonna leave you out of each other. There's 2 parts of the day they've been really excited about. Every time we get out for a walk along the river, they're all in. And of course this lunch, you can tell they're super psyched about this. This is definitely making their day right here. Because they're not just getting a bunch of meat. They're getting a little bit of variety too. They're getting a little bit of everything. Oh, that's pretty good, huh? All right, this is the last of the yakitori, okay? I'm sorry, that's it. There's some more out there. You guys have been great travel buddies today. Thanks for coming along with me. A few more stops and we're gonna call this a day.
This bridge across the Naka River is actually a regular part of my running route through Naka Town, so I no longer need to reference the map at all as I make my way toward the Forest Culture Park and campground known as Land.
Tipping up just past our halfway point, at number 15 we have Lando.
This attraction was designed to allow people to enjoy the many charms of the forest here in Naka Town. Together, the natural flowers and trees of the area, including hydrangeas, cherry blossoms, and maples, consist of more than 10,000 unique species. The main area includes a forest workshop, cottages, and, for large groups, campsites and a barbecue area.
I think I'm getting tired just looking at this staircase. And it goes up around behind that building, and it does keep going.
Land is also a regular destination for many field trips from the local schools. If you drop in for a visit on a Saturday or Sunday, you're more likely to be able to enjoy the quiet of the woods by yourself. But on a weekday, you may find yourself navigating through large groups of students enjoying the forest.
And from here, at the top of the mountain, off the trail goes into the woods for a little bit of fun. But it's time to move to our next destination, down the road. Wooden Toy Museum, here we come.
The Wooden Toy Museum and the Museum of Art are located right next door to each other.
And another spot where we get 2 locations for the price of 1. On this side, we have the Aoi Shinrin Museum of Art, and just across the lot there, we've got the Wooden Toy Museum. So let's see if we can check out both of these spots.
The Aoi Shinrin Museum of Art opened its doors to the public in 1993 and to this day is the only town-operated art museum anywhere in Tokushima Prefecture. The museum houses a pretty spectacular collection of wood carvings, woodblock prints, and unique works of art. Like most art museums though, this is a place you'll have to come see in person as they do not allow photography or videoing.
And don't worry, today is not totally devoid of geocaching because behind door number 1 we have a geocache. And this is actually one of my favorite kind of containers because this is one of my geocaches. Told you we were back in the land of the familiar.
The Wooden Toy Museum, also known as the Naka Town Mountain Toy Museum, is relatively new on the scene. They only recently opened to the public, so this was my first time getting a look inside.
Now, chances are the fish here aren't edible, but you can still go out for a nice fun fishing experience and maybe hook yourself a winner. And you go ahead and capture that and put it in the basket. Well, what do we got in there? Well, this is the best fishing I've done in a while. When I go out with Truax Outdoors, I catch nothing, but look at that. They are just flying on the hook today. Oh yeah, and look at that. We have 3 big ones and dinner is served.
I find the word museum in the title to be a bit misleading. Normally, when you think of a museum, you think of displays that are meant to be looked at, but pretty much everything here is intended to be hands-on.
Truax Outdoors, eat your heart out on this one because you can go wild mushroom picking all you want, and this kanugi tree really produces too.
At this station, you can equip some safety gear, grab some tools, and get to work cutting down a tree. And while I didn't know how to play with everything, all I had to do was ask, and a staff member would show me just what to do.
And a whole wall full of ball in the cup here. So, if I know this game right, toss it up. Gotta do better than that though. Toss it up and... Well, I know some people can do this game, apparently not me.
As I continue to walk through the museum, I hatch a plan to return with my young niece and nephew, who would love to play with all these toys, and I'd be able to play along with them so I wouldn't look quite so weird.
The staff here is being very helpful in making sure I play with all the toys, so I must oblige. This one is the kaidan, the stairs, and each one is named for an individual tree. And you're encouraged Isn't that satisfying?
There are just so many great wooden toys here. What a fantastic place to bring young children.
So I've had the opportunity to tour most of Naka Town, and by the end of this next video, all the places in Naka Town. However, this is definitely the coolest spot I've been to yet. If you have kids and you're ever in this area, this toy museum is a must-do on the list. But for the kid in you who wants to go and play and maybe have a snack or two, this is the place to be.
After a long day spent exploring the entire western side of Naka Town, both Aichan and Skip are tired, so we enjoy one last walk before we call it a day.
All right, that's gonna do it for the first half of our tour through Naka Town. We started this morning at the far west end of the district and, stop by stop, have worked our way through over 18 places on this card. We're now finishing the day in front of Kawaguchi Dam, which covers 2 of the stops on the card. However, we're not going to be attacking that today. We will go ahead and take that on with our second video for this series. As you can see, both dogs are pretty tired and they have had plenty of adventure for the day. Now we're ready to go home, maybe eat some more yakitori, and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you guys for joining us on this tour through Naka Town, and I can't wait to show you the second half of this thing. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, stay tuned for updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.